Hi, guys. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of Soulful Living with Megs. As always, it is so great to have you here back for a moment of connection with me. Happy birthday! Well, to Soulful Living. We're a day early, I think, because I believe last year, April 14th, was the first day I released my very first episode. I did an intro the week before, but it's been an official 1 year since starting the podcast, which is kind of crazy, but so exciting at the same time. And we're going to dive into that. But of course, I wanted to update you guys on my past week. I want to hear about yours. I hope you guys have been doing so fantastic. Enjoyed the long weekend that we had the previous week and got to relax and got to enjoy some sun because at least here in BC we had a lot of sun, which was fabulous, and hopefully we're really getting into spring now. I personally love spring. I can't wait for the summer. I just bought a lawn chair, or like a beach lounging chair, if you will. And so I can recline it to obviously like sit, but then also it goes all the way down, and then I can work on my tan this summer. And I'm so excited because, as you guys know, I moved and I live across the street from the beach, and so it won't be a long walk to haul the chair. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I think it comes with a little shade thing for my face if I don't, or like umbrella, if you will, kind of, so that if I don't want my face full of sun, that's fine. I'm so pumped for that. I literally can't wait for the summer. But anyway, yeah, I hope your week has been fab. I wanted to tell you guys that on Monday last week, I went skiing for the very first time. And it was funny because I had a couple friends over, and Shay being one of them. She had said, "Oh, I think we were just talking about what we were up to for the rest of the day." And Shay said, "I think I'm going to go snowboarding tonight. You guys should totally come with me." And it took some convincing because my initial response was absolutely not. And that wasn't because I was scared of skiing. I think part of it was the fact that it was Monday. The next day I'm going back to work. I wanted to kind of have a chill afternoon, ease my way into my schedule for the rest of the week. And also I have nothing for skiing, which, I mean, easily enough, I rented everything, but I just like wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be, and it being so last minute, kind of threw me off. But they convinced me to say yes, and honestly, I'm so glad that I went. I had an incredible time. It was beautiful out, like so sunny. I don't think the conditions were necessarily the best for skiing, especially for those who ski and snowboard regularly. Like, of course, for me, I thought they were fine. I don't really know the difference, but I did hear that the snow was a bit icy in certain areas. You can kind of see some of the dirt underneath. So definitely wasn't good in those spots, but for the purposes of why we were going, it was great. And I actually did way better than I thought I would do. We went on the bunny hill maybe twice, and I fell once there, not going downhill, but on that little ramp, because it's not the chairlift that you're on with that small hill, at least where we were skiing. It was like kind of a ramp you just stand on, and then at the end you just kind of ski off or snowboard off. But I wasn't expecting it to be that way, and so I kind of like fell forward on my hands. My legs like splayed out underneath. I caught myself, but it was freaking funny, and it was caught on camera, of course. So that was really funny. And then I fell on a bigger hill because after the bunny hill, I was like, yeah, no, we can do something harder. I definitely fell pretty hard there. And then I think one more time elsewhere. I don't remember. But honestly, I had a blast, and I loved the pizza position. That was definitely something that was comfortable for me. But I was surprisingly like good at being able to go in different directions, or at least I think I was for my very first time. And I just need to work on stopping a little bit quicker. especially on one side. I definitely favored one side over the other, but I'm so down to go again. Like, I actually cannot wait to go skiing again, which will probably be next year, but I'm so down to get a season pass and get some snow pants and some used skis and go with my friends again and have such a fun time. It wasn't even scary going on the chairlift and then coming off the chairlift. I thought that was easier than going up the ramp on the bunny hill, to be frank. But I wanted to tell you guys about that because, of course, like, I had some fears going into it just because it was so new and trying something new for the first time, especially a sport like that. You don't really know how it's going to go. And I know that you can have injuries and whatnot. And so there was a bit of struggle with me there. But once I kind of got past that and was just embracing the experience for what it was and really giving it my all, I loved every second of it. Except the only thing I didn't like was the fact that the boots are very constrictive on your like shins, which I mean is amazing for the fact that you're not going to break your ankle, but walking in them is very uncomfortable. So yeah, that I was very slow. I looked awkward walking. I don't know. And I looked less cool than the snowboarders. There were some people in their hoodies and t-shirts snowboarding and they looked sick. So one day that's going to be me for sure. But yeah, I loved it. I cannot wait to go back and I just was so happy to embrace something new, get out of my comfort zone because I'm a big advocate for that is growth, and we need to kind of step outside of what's so familiar to us in order to push forward and grow. So, yeah, very thankful to my friends for convincing me to go, and it was worth every penny that I spent doing that. And then we went and got hot chocolate after, because of course you can't be at a ski lodge without hot chocolate. So I had a really, really fire hot chocolate. It was actually like an Earl Grey one. So they just put an Earl Grey tea bag in the hot chocolate, which sounds like a fantastic idea. And I should totally try that again. But anyway, that was my past week. And we started this fitness challenge at work as well. So for the next 3 months, we're tracking our steps. We're on like 3 different teams. I'm a team captain for one of them, which is super fun. We made a cute little logo. And then, we just basically compete against the other teams to try to get the most amount of steps. But of course, like if you are playing a sport or if you're working out or something, they all convert into steps. So skiing got me a ton of steps for the day on top of what I was already, doing. So that's been fun to start, and it's cool to kind of see everybody ingratiate themselves in the experience. And yesterday was Friday as I'm recording this, and we did like a flash challenge where we had to hold a wall sit for as long as we could, and we got like double the points for a certain amount of time we did it. So that was fun. I only held my wall sit for 3 minutes and 10 seconds because my legs have been so dead since skiing. So I'm blaming it on that, truthfully. I feel like I could have held it for a bit longer, but that's fine. Next time, hopefully my legs won't be so sore, but I was shaking like a minute in, so I just couldn't hold it for longer than that. But yeah, those are my updates for the past week, things that I actually wanted to share with you guys. And things have been fantastic. I can't wait for the weather to just continue to get better. Okay, so as you guys know, it's been a year since I released the podcast. And so I wanted to talk about that today. I mentioned it in last week's episode that we would. And basically, I kind of want to just talk about the growth that I've experienced personally and things that have come up within my thought process while doing the pod over the past year, things that I want to improve on, things where I see myself going with this, everything like that. But first and foremost, I really want to thank you all for your support. The fact that so many of you listen every single week. We have this cute little community, and it's small but mighty, and I know it'll only go up from here. And just being able to know that I'm hopefully touching the lives of at least one of you makes me feel so fulfilled and makes me know that I am still meant to do this. And just hearing your feedback when you do listen, it truly helps me grow as a human and just know that, I'm also not alone in the world because, of course, I'm here to support you and I'm here to make you feel seen and loved and everything like that. But to receive that feedback as well is something that I am very grateful for and makes me feel like I can continue to do this. In terms of what I've been feeling, something that has been great is the fact that I get to maintain a schedule, and the consistency makes me feel extremely proud of myself because there are so many benefits for me personally that, being held accountable every week makes me a better person, if that makes sense. Like the fact that I know that I want to put effort into this because I could easily skip a week. I think I only skipped one week because it was like the week of Christmas leading into my birthday, taking a break and all of that. But I could easily say, no, I don't want to record today. No, I don't want to share anything with the world today because I'm too lazy, I'm too tired, I'm not feeling inspired, whatever it is. I don't feel that way. This doesn't feel like a chore. And the fact that I am held accountable every single week within myself, like these are obviously parameters I'm enforcing, it does make me feel proud that I can maintain this level of consistency and effort. And, truthfully, I probably would release more episodes and maybe that would come in the future multiple times a week, but with my schedule, I'm trying to fit so many things in. But even being able to do this once a week makes me feel so happy that I can just sit here and share my thoughts and my feelings, and to not feel a lot of judgment from that, it definitely makes me feel good. Something else that I've realized in this process that is no secret to you guys is it's so fun finding different passions because I feel like I have more to explore than just the one thing I've always done. And of course, dance has been this huge passion of mine. It always will be. I love that I can express myself in that art form, but there's so many other things and avenues to go down. It's not just about one thing. And the podcast is absolutely another passion project of mine, that it's another outlet where I can share my feelings, express my needs, express my thoughts, express my feelings, and it to be received. And then also on top of that, for it to make other people feel seen. So I love that I have found a different passion since releasing the podcast. And I'm glad that I've actually done it because you guys know that it has been on my mind, or it was on my mind for a while prior to starting this, and there was just a blockage or a fear of it being embarrassing or something like that, or like what if it doesn't work out, or what if I don't like it, that was kind of stopping me. And I just love that it has turned into a passion of mine. I kind of said this before, but I also feel like I am helping those of you who listen to the podcast, where I can maybe provide a new perspective or just to simply feel heard and seen if you're going through something. Like, truthfully, that makes me feel so good inside. It makes me feel like I want to continue doing this because a positive side of being a people pleaser, if we are going to talk about that, is that I just want to help out everyone around me. I want people, when I'm in their orbit, to feel loved and to be happy and to be able to express themselves authentically. And I feel like I do bring that out of people when I am with them in real life and in person. But if I can't be with you in person, whether it be because of distance or circumstance, if I feel like I'm making you feel loved, especially when I receive that feedback, it makes me feel so, so good. And again, that's an attribute to you guys as well. So thank you for allowing me this space to share what I want to share. And if it helps you, that just is the cherry on top. Something that I've also realized the past year is that some days I feel extremely inspired to sit and write, and other days I'm not inspired to talk about things or to write them down. And so that has been an interesting thing to note in my writing process because I do write out a bit of a script beforehand. I like to plan topics that I want to talk about. And some days my thoughts flow so effortlessly, and then I get excited to talk about the topic. I look forward to being on the mic so that I can share what I have written down. But, other days, whether it be because of fatigue or lack of inspiration, I may not have a lot to say. And I still am always proud of the work that I do put out and every episode that I have aired. But there's definitely been some episodes where I just wasn't as inspired to say anything because, that's normal to go through periods of inspiration, and sometimes you have writer's block or sometimes you don't have a lot to say. But I think that that's okay. I learned by feeling that, like, I don't need to always say something. I don't need to always be on or inspired to get my work done. The fact that I have desire to keep moving forward despite these roadblocks and knowing that something is meant to come out of it does keep me motivated each and every day to continue this journey. Something silly that I've learned since doing this for a year now is that I actually enjoy the sound of my own voice. I think having to hear it so many times back truly makes me feel appreciated for the voice that God has given me. And it's funny because at first, when I would hear my voice, I was so uncomfortable. Anytime I would hear my voice on videos back in the day, whatever it is with friends, if they're filming me, I just don't like the sound of my own voice. And I know that that's a very common feeling to have. It's not just me. But considering I have to listen to myself back because I do edit the podcast and then I listen to it again before uploading it to make sure it sounds okay, or, to make sure that I'm satisfied with it before uploading it to you guys, has made me appreciate the voice that I have. Yeah, I have no qualms or complaints about that. And something kind of similar to that is that I feel more confident talking into the mic. And knowing how I first started a year ago, it was a little bit strange. I felt a little bit silly, kind of speaking to nobody. And even when I had Nat on the pod the first time, I was a little bit nervous that she was even with me. But then, since having other guests on the podcast, having her again with Laura, having Venice, having Shay, like, I've gotten so much more confident speaking my truth and speaking what I want to share in that moment. And just knowing that, it's okay to mess up. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be human. But I'm also maintaining a level of confidence and comfort because I have been doing this for a bit of time. It's just such a fun experience to kind of look back on and reflect and know that I have grown from it. I feel personal growth too, in the sense that, when I listen back to old episodes, I sometimes don't resonate with the advice that was previously given. And I know that's coming from me, but it makes me realize that it is okay to grow. It's okay to change my opinion or my feeling about something. And it's okay to mess up what I say because, again, nobody's perfect in this world. And I can't always say the most perfect thing at every given time. So I it's nice to see, like, oh, maybe this doesn't resonate with me anymore as much as it used to. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that what I said before was incorrect. And it just means that I've grown and I maybe don't think that way anymore. And it's just a nice reminder that everybody can go through that journey and that you can change and evolve. And if you think something one day doesn't mean 10 years down the line, you're going to feel that same way. I think that we're so stuck in sometimes it always has to be this way or it's always going to be this way, but that's not necessarily the case. Like, I think we're always shifting and evolving in small ways all the time. And to just be open to that change, I think would make change a lot easier to digest and to understand and to kind of sit in without all the discomfort. I hope that made sense. Something else that I've learned is that I feel like this is only the beginning, that there is so much room for growth, and I am excited to continue to explore and discover and learn everything that I can about myself and then also the world. And something really, really huge and kind of ties into me thanking you guys at the beginning is that I have a wonderful support system with the podcast. Because again, the feedback that I receive from you, from my friends, my family, it makes me feel so loved, and that it's worth the feelings of feeling silly or cringe sometimes, and at first I was nervous to talk about the podcast. I was nervous to tell people that I have this passion project of mine because, well, I don't know, I feel like anytime you start sharing things on the internet, you can be met with a lot of cruelty in a way, of a negative feedback of, I don't understand why she's doing that. I don't understand why you would post that. That's embarrassing. That's cringeworthy. It's weird, like whatever that is. And I know that that stems from some projection in itself, and none of those feelings that other people have anything to do with me. But of course it's nerve-wracking and embarrassing to put yourself out there in a way, but I think that is part of the human experience, is we're meant to feel all those things, and it's not as bad as it seems. And I do feel confident to talk about the podcast. I'm not shameful to have this passion. Like, I like to share it with people, new people that I, don't know. I'm like, hey, I have this thing that brings me joy, and it brings me a lot of light when I'm doing that. And I don't feel shameful about it. Like, I think that that goes for anything in life where you're putting yourself out there, you're stepping out of that comfort zone. I want you guys to put yourself in places where you want to grow, and where you do feel passion and an ignition underneath you to like keep going, because it's so cool that you're doing that. You're putting yourself into the world, and that's worth celebrating, and it shouldn't be met with embarrassment. And I think that we are so hard on ourselves, so we do bring that upon ourselves a lot of the time. But this is your one life to live. You might as well do what you want to do. If you think about starting something, you might as well just try it, even if it doesn't go the way you intend. And it probably won't, because we plan and God laughs. And that's something that Tinks always says. But I like to think about it because, I structure my life a very specific way, but I have no idea what tomorrow's going to bring. I have no clue how this podcast is going to pan out. I don't know if I'm going to want to continue doing this a year from now as well. I hope so. I want to continue Soulful Living with Megs. I want to see where this growth can push me into becoming a better me for myself, and then also the people in my life, because that's ultimately something that also fuels me, is to be better for those that I love. But who knows really what's going to happen, and we're just here for the journey, and so we might as well just put every ounce of effort that we can into the things that we love, and to not feel shame about it, because there's no reason to. And honestly, guys, it has been a journey. It's been a wild ride. It's been a lot of different things, but I am incredibly grateful for the fact that I do have this platform where I can share my thoughts. I'm grateful that I can speak my mind, and I can feel inspired by you guys to want to talk about things and to make your life better in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just for you to laugh at 1 second of a story that I tell, or whatever it is. I am incredibly grateful that I can continue to grow throughout this podcast as an individual, and then grow with you guys as well, because I love thinking of us as a team. I wouldn't be doing this without you. So this is also an episode to you, not just a happy birthday to Soulful Living and the growth that I've experienced, but really a thank you to the incredible humans in my life that get to listen to me, and then that also just everything you guys do for me. I so appreciate it. And I can't wait for what year 2 has to offer for us. I can't wait to look back on this episode a year from now and to see how things have changed. And yeah, I'm just going to continue on the ride and keep being me and keep learning. And I hope that you're going to continue with me, because that would be so much fun. I can't do this without you. And yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. That's all I got for you. But a very happy birthday to Soulful Living with Megs. It's been so much fun. I can't even describe it to you guys. I hope that your week is filled with endless opportunities of joy and love and light. I'm sending all of that incredible energy to you, so I hope that you feel it. Yeah, until next Monday, y'all, I hope that you stay so fabulous. I don't know why I say that. I need to end with something else, but I don't really know how to end it. Something else I'll work on. That'll be a new growth for the next year, is figuring out another way to end the pod, whatever. Anyway, guys, love you. I'll talk to you so soon. Bye.